Nate Sperlin here for the cap here with my co-host RJ Levichin. This is episode 201. On this episode, we will be discussing Drake's new EP, Scary Hours 2, Lil Durk and Only the Family's project, Loyal Bros, as well as speculating about the future for Bruno Mars and Anderson Paak and when we expect that Silk Sonic album to come out. All this and a lot of tangents. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and just mad other places. We just got them all. You feel me? So check us out everywhere. All right, welcome back to the Cap, episode 201 here with my co-host RJ Levichin. I am Nate Sperlin, desperately waiting for spring to happen. It's your weekly tour through hip hop. RJ, how you doing?
Man, Drake is here. It ain't no certified lover boy, but Drake is here, and that's how I feel. That's all I gotta say.
Did you get a good cry?
I didn't even get to listen to it until today.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a few days just because I was busy and I just wasn't in the mindset to, because I really, thought that I was gonna have to get really emotional. But no, I mean he ain't dropped the crying tracks yet.
Oh yeah,
he got the crying tracks.
So you're content. That's how you feeling right now?
Yeah, real content. Real content. Borderline toxic.
Borderline toxic. Oh, so you just been getting into the future.
Borderline.
All right. Anyway. All right, let's get into it right now. Drake, Scary Hours 2. Wow, the third one is probably...
That's never coming.
I predicted that. You know what? Fuck it. I'll own that. Scary Hours 3 coming soon. I predicted it. Coming. I don't know when soon is, but it's coming. So... yeah, there we are. Anyway,
yeah, soon in the terms of the general
just
existence,
just like maybe like 1 or 2 rotations around the sun maybe might come. Anyway,
3, 4,
hey,
not double digit. It's not double digit now. It's not double digits. So.
Hey man, if it drops, I predicted it first. You heard it here first. I knew about it before Drake even thought about it. You feel me? That's how in tune we are.
He's Nicodamus right here.
Anyway, Scary Hours 2, the current one right now we have is 3 tracks long. We have 3 tracks, like I just said, and Lil Baby and Rick Ross are features on it. 2 really, really highly coveted features from a lot of people in hip hop, probably the whole game in hip hop, to be honest with you. RJ, do you want to start off with telling us your initial thoughts of Scary Hours 2?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Drake, I heard What's Next as a leak. I think that kind of like messed me up, and I let Twitter affect kind of my expectations for it a little bit too much, because I definitely think it didn't hit in the way that Twitter made it seem it was gonna hit. Like, I think What's Next is a good song. Maybe I'll be more hype about it, because I do think the importance of Drake is like the excitement. So I think if I hadn't heard the single, maybe I might like it more off the first listen. I think Wants and Needs is a good song, but I think Lil Baby washed him, and I think that Drake, what pocket you need to get into when you're working with Lil Baby, and this is not the pocket. I think the beat selection was very poor. I'm surprised that I don't know whose beat this was. Listening to all these songs, they all could be someone else's song. Even What's Next, like What's Next sounds like a song that he was on and he took off the original nigga. And was like, nah, just leave my verses.
What's Next sounds like,
and then so that's it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Are you gonna defend him, or?
I'm not. I can't defend him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that you defend. It's more like looking at it, considering that Drake is one of the most important rappers in hip hop. When he does something, we all watch. Well, the whole world watches. The whole music world watches. So to hear these songs, I'm a little bit upset. But I think that Lemon Pepper Freestyle really, really showed me that he can still get in the bag. Mm-hmm. And, you listen to that song, Rick Ross does his thing. Every single time the beat is just like a synth, and then you hear the solo, like you already know, oh, there's going to be heat. Drake going to kill this one. Okay, 40, got the sample, Drake going to kill it. And when I heard this nigga say, because I knew, because you know, Drake, he liked to be emotional or he liked to pop shit. That's it. Key Drake is when this nigga in Lemon Pepper Freestyle goes, and my city love me like I'm DeMar DeRozan.
Damn,
send my BM some child support money. She sent back the heart emoji. They say they love me, but they hardly know me. Now that's crazy. That's a bar, Drake. That's crazy. But let me tell you something. If we at the club, if we chilling and we popping shit, cause you like everybody love you, you lit, and you go, hey bro, you popping champagne and you like we do the toast, and then you go, hey man, I just sent my BM some money. She only sent me the emoji, like, and they say they love me, but they hardly know me. I'm gonna be like, hey bro, get your sad ass away from me. Drake gotta figure out, like, he needs to stop getting so emotional after popping shit. Like, I know your city love you. We all know that. I don't know why you had to get so emotional about it. Like, they love me, but really love me. Relax. All right, Drake, calm down. You got the weekend. Because Drake really got the weekend. He got the whole weekend. But at the end of the day, the beats were not good enough. I don't know. You know, clearly it's not an album. But if we're being honest and we're talking about the scale, Dark Lane demo tapes and this, Scary Hours 1 defeats all of it.
Yeah.
All of it. So it's we're really in it. And when I think about how Scary Hours 1 moves into Scorpion, and I didn't like Scorpion that much, you know, Scorpion had the hits, but I didn't like it. Definitely makes me a little bit worried, but I gotta hope that, you know, the Certified Lover Boy does some Certified Lover Boy shit. Okay.
Right. Yeah. All right. So I agree with you. I think that the production could have been way better on this project. Like, Drake is tapped in. He has, like, there's infinite producers he could call, and there's infinite sounds that he could tap into. And for him to give us beats like what wants and needs, were just like, there's just nothing exciting about it for me, really. Like, it's just a typical trap beat, and there isn't really much uniqueness to it. It's just like, I want it to sound trap, but I still kind of also want to rap on it, and it's like it just comes through so clearly. It's so transparent that I didn't really like Wants and Needs that much. I do think I should give it a second listen just for Lil Baby's verse. I also like the hook that he did, but in terms of Drake's verse on Wants and Needs, that's cool. I guess. What's next? The first track. I was average. It's good. It's average, you know, like, there isn't really anything that blew me away about that too. The lyricism didn't really do much for me. He's just updating people on his life, so that's cool. It would be better for you to do that within an album, Drake, but I guess if you want to count this as a project too, which it is, EP, you know, cool. Lemon Pepper Freestyle. I say all that to say Lemon Pepper Freestyle is definitely the best track of the three. Rick Ross does his thing, flows. It sounds like Rick Ross has a second flow coming out now a little bit more. So that was very easy to listen to. That was very interesting to listen to. Typically, I don't really like freestyles anyway. I don't really like flatbed freestyle. I don't really like the 7-minute freestyle from 21 Savage. Flatbed freestyle is by Playboy Cardi, by the way. I don't really like either of those, but so, like, when I see freestyle in the name of a song, I'm like, okay.
Them niggas not rappers though. Them niggas should not be doing freestyle. They should not be doing freestyle songs.
Yeah, but I just don't really, even if it's like an Eminem freestyle, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Can I get a hook, please?
Eminem freestyles like, be OD though.
Like, even when you
Eminem freestyle be like, wow, this is a lot.
But like, even when you look at Lupe Fiasco and like Mural and Mural Jr. and those 8-minute long tracks where there's no hook. Like me, I like a hook. I like structure. I like a little break in between.
That's the thing, is that I think that you can add a break. Like, you don't need a hook. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, you're about freestyle, is that if that Lemon Pepper Freestyle does have that break. There's multiple large breaks of just there's like the whole thing. So like, and that's what I'm like, I agree with you that I don't think that anyone is just trying to hear like verse, you know what I mean? Just like 6 minute a verse. But I do think that, you know, if you have something memorable enough to break up the song, you know, that's good enough. As long as it's memorable. If it's not memorable, then it can't take, you know, it doesn't fit that role of the chorus. It doesn't break in that way. But if it's memorable, people will listen to it. Like, I think about EDM, half the chorus would just be the drop. So like, I think that, it's definitely possible.
I mean, yeah, I think that this song definitely it's definitely better than the other two. I think that the lyrical content in regards to Drake just talking about different things, I think that that's really, really well done. I think that this is the best beat selection on the entire project. So yeah, I think overall, are you more excited for Certified Lover Boy? Are you less excited for Certified Lover Boy? How are you feeling about the incoming album based off the CP?
It's hard to say. You when you compare Scary Hours 1 to Scary Hours 2. Scary Hours 1, the songs on it brought about the excitement that I think Scorpion was going to have anyways. Mm-hmm. But it all tied together, and God's Plan is one of, if not the most, at least commercially successful Drake songs ever. And there's nothing even within spitting distance on this. That being said, and with Dark Lane demo tapes too, is that there's no reason for me to believe that Certified Lover Boy is going to be on the level that I want it to be. But he still gets in his bag, and I think that shows that we're still gonna get a Drake album. And I think the more that I think about it is that he might not be as great as as people think. He may be one of those artists that becomes a machine of branding, and that is where all his success comes from, and that may be where it is. But I think that his baseline is still pretty high, so it doesn't matter. Like, I think that I've started to realize that his baseline is high enough that he's always going to have good songs in every project that he puts out. So I'm still excited, but I don't have the expectations of his magnum opus type album. Not at all.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, going into it, I wasn't really that much excited for Certified Lover Boy. That was really mostly you carrying that, just backpacking that whole I'm excited for Certified Lover Boy wave on this show. So there isn't really much here for me to really feel more excited about it. I'm just still very much indifferent to it. It could turn out to be good and the best album of the year. That wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, if it disappoints everybody, that wouldn't really surprise me as well. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. But moving on, Lil Durk and Only the Family, the Loyal Bros compilation, 23 tracks, 58 minutes long. There's just a lot of names here, and I'm not really sure who is actually OTF and who is just like an affiliate. For example, they gave T Grizzly his own song on this project, and I don't think, to my knowledge at least, he's not a part of Only the Family. But the features we do have listed are Lil Uzi Vert, T Grizzly, Fujiano, ESTG, and there's a lot more features that I am not confident in saying, because again, I'm not really sure who's actually a feature, who's actually a part of the group that this album belongs to. All I know is it's Lil Durk and Only the Family, and that's whose album it is. 23 tracks long, like I said. RJ, what were your first?
Is OTF like an actual thing?
Yeah, it's a
registered thing.
Yeah. Okay. It's on, like, they have their own Spotify page, they have their own pages and stuff. Like, it's like a thing. It's like, I guess the most close comparison would be Dreamville, how each of them do their own things, but at the same time, like, they still come together for that compilation album. So I think that's the closest, that's the best thing to compare it to. But yeah, it's actually a thing. But what were your initial thoughts on this 23 track compilation album?
I mean, I don't think that the only problem with these projects is that sometimes, especially when the other artists of the group aren't known, the overshadowing can be, something that people can't really come back from. You know, like other artists, people so focused on listening to, you know, I want to hear the little Durk songs and the King Von songs that like they don't necessarily meet these other members. So I wish on a media level, we were actually like meeting these guys and they were getting more of a spotlight and we were seeing more out of these guys. Because I do think that it's an issue that, you know, we're talking about this album, but we don't know who Only the Family is. Like when we see all these people, we don't know who a single person of the family is. We don't, you know, and it says Only the Family, and I'm very unsure. It seems like it's a lot more than Only the Family. It seems like it's squad and gang and like, it seems like it's a lot of niggas. But you know, it's a good project. The beat selection is fire. Mm-hmm. I think that Lil Durk is slowly becoming a leader in a way that I don't think I ever expected. And you know, it's hype. You know, he's making good music. So that's what's important.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, last episode we definitely talked about how I prefer Lil Durk to rap versus sing, and I will say that I do like Lil Durk's verses on this project more than I do on The Voice, like as a total. And he doesn't have that, like it's him and Only the Family, so obviously he's not on every single song. But the songs with Lil Durk I definitely obviously enjoyed. I like the beginning, it's good. The one track that kind of let me down a little bit was Let It Blow with Lil Uzi. I didn't really like. I thought that he should have came in on that Baby Pluto cadence instead of that I'm Sorry cadence. Like, I don't think he should have really went soft on that. But aside from that, I think that there are some hits here. I think there are 2 hits that don't even involve Lil Durk at all, which is it's a very good sign when you can have hits without the main artist or like the biggest artist on it. That shows quality throughout the project. A lot of King Von verses here too, which is also something to be expected and also something that is welcome, because one thing that I hate about 2020 is the fact that we know, like it's confirmed that we won't really be able to see King Von grow and see what could come out of his music once he figured out more about how to grow his storytelling and things of that nature. Like, that was robbed from us. So that's one thing I really hated about 2020, but I guess I could kind of find closure in the King Von verses here. And RJ, like you said, I agree. I think that there needs to be more organization. I think that there needs to be a more clear vision for just like casuals and people like us who are trying to be experts in this as well, in terms of who's a part of it, who are the features and things of that nature. T Grizzly did his thing on this as well. Yeah, overall, from what I've listened to so far this weekend, this is definitely my favorite project.
Yeah, I think it was a good project. I think that it was a good project for Lil Durk. Like, I'm sure of that. I got to see how it's going to be for OTF. I got it, because there isn't that standout hit that puts someone else on. It's the only thing that worries me.
I think there's 2, honestly.
You think there's like standout hits that can like change a nigga's life type?
Potentially. I think there's some hits here that can potentially give someone have other rappers reaching out like, yo, like, you want to do what you did there on this song, and that could potentially blow someone up too.
All right, so what are your favorite songs? Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna make you do it because I don't have an answer. But who's the best performer besides King Von and Durk? You could.
Okay. I like to answer your second question first. I like Duty Low a lot. I also like Just Blow 600, and I also like Booker 600. I thought Lil Mexico did his thing as well. So those are 4 artists that I didn't know about beforehand going into this project that I now have some anticipation over listening to in the future. The 2 songs that I think could potentially blow up are Toxic with Just Blow 600. It kind of reminds me of Ric Flair Drip in the same way, where there's more room for melody on it and there's just a bounce to it, to the flow, to the beat. And when you get that and you're able to combine that together, you potentially have a hit on your hands. The next one is the next song that I think is potentially a hit is the song after it. Toxic was track 15, track 16, Glaciers with Book of 600 and Boss Top. The flute beat, amazing. It gives them more room to not just be talking like tough all the time. Like it gives them more room for melody and more room to be able to really explore more sonically versus just like dissing and like, yo, I'm gonna kill you and all that other shit, which most of this album is. And there are some tracks that have that I enjoy, but I also appreciate the contrast as well.
Contrast is key.
What are your favorite songs?
Favorite songs. Hellcats and Trackhawks. I don't even know what a Trackhawk is, but that should sound fun.
Yeah, that song is heat though.
You know, like I don't know what that is. Let It Blow, of course. And then Out the Roof. I like Bucket 600 too. He's fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also like Sip Again with Lil Durk and Duty Low, excuse me. Hellcats and Trackhawks, like you said, that I heard the snippet for it, and once I heard the snippet for it, I was like, okay, this is gonna go off. I also like, I like a good amount of songs on this project. I think also towards the end, they kind of get more melodic with it, just in general. The second half is definitely the more experimental side of it. How do you feel about, like, do you think that OTF has a chance off of this to really kind of mirror the success of Dreamville in a way? Maybe not completely. No, you don't think so? Why not?
No. I mean, I think about those collectives in general, and I think that a very important part of those collectives is that each individual of the collective, whether it be Black Hippie and TDE, Dreamville, Good Music, Young Money, whatever, is that there were multiple artists within the collective that held their own. Mm-hmm. And they would have, and you have a feeling that they could have held their own in any circumstance, any situation. Mm-hmm. I don't have a feeling about any of these guys. That's kind of like why I said what I said about the hit and the thing is whatever, is because I don't think that there's a hit that doesn't feel like, oh, I'm listening to this because, you know, Lil Durk's on it or King Von's on it or whatever. And I think that is, you know, they're the guys. You know, it's them two. So I think that, like, you know, with King Von's passing and Lil Durk's solidification this year, do I think that someone new is going to, you know, blossom or, you know, or kind of like start their prime or whatever? No, I don't see that.
I mean, I think when you just look around and look at how in recent memory, a lot of rappers are trying to dig into that. I'm gonna start like putting niggas on and shit like that. When you look at 2 Chainz, and you look at Gucci Mane with the new 1017 Gucci Mane, and I forget the name of 2 Chainz' group, but I think that Only the Family is better than both of them. I will say that.
I mean, does it matter?
I mean,
you don't even know the name of 2 Chainz group. You don't even know the name of them. And that's what I mean. It's like, you like, when I think about Dreamville, when I think about, you know, all the people that I named that have, where their main person is crossover, they're already 300, 400K first week type artists, is that there's no Boss, there's no JID, there's no Schoolboy, there's none of that. And there's nobody that is unique enough. They're all extensions of Durk. That's what it feels like, all a bunch of extensions of Durk. And that's okay because it's OTF. But when I also think that, like, there's a difference between, you know, oh, I'm putting my niggas on and, you know, I have a collective of artists. Those are 2 different things. You know, there's a difference between, yeah, my niggas want to rap and I and me and a collective of niggas are making a next level collective album. I know that the thought process that went into this is not the thought process that goes into, Revenge of the Dreamers or any TDE album because Kendrick has to oversee it, or any Kanye West group out. Like, I know that it just wasn't looked after like that. So it's hard to compare. But I mean, the songs are good. Like, it's not like they're bad songs. So I think that they did their job. But again, I don't see a standout.
All right. Moving on, last topic, we have Anderson Paak and Bruno Mars. What's Silk Sonic is the name of their group?
Yeah, something like that.
I felt like I enjoyed the song. It's not really something that I feel. I know, like, I'm definitely in the minority when I say this, but it's not really something that I personally am going to be looking out for that much. I will acknowledge
the album in general.
Yeah, the album in general. I will acknowledge that this song is really, really well done, to the point where it sounds like one of the oldies that you can hear in the Snowfall end credits. But RJ, what do you
plug and shame? Why you plugging that show like they pay you, bro?
Cause Franklin Saint. There's two Franklins I like: Franklin from GTA and Franklin Saint.
Franklin Saint needs to get his life together, because I heard he's making bad decisions again.
He's trying. Hey, bro, it's part of the theater.
Nah, that's what I'm saying, bro. He's in it. He's there. I can feel that even though I don't watch the show's been going on long enough that they're in that pocket where he has to start making mistakes, and that's when I hate that pocket.
So you'd rather them just give him 3 seasons?
Because it can't just be like niggas just finessing and dominating. It can't just be that. Nigga gotta take some L's, gotta fuck up. So
hey, bro. He already did last season. But anyway, we're getting away from the point. RJ, what did you think about Anderson Paak and Bruno Mars? What do you think about it? Are you excited about it? Are you ready to leave the door open for people? Like, what's good? What's going on over there?
I didn't expect this. This is a very weird opening single. This is a very worrisome is the wrong word, because as you said, it's a very well-made song, great song. They really, really, really did capture what the cover looked like. That is an old school song. I think that a bunch of people had an idea that they were going to make upscale, up-tempo, old school funk. That's what they were going to do. And I think about, and now I'm looking at with this single, I got to think, is this the Versace on the Floor to Bruno Mars' like 24 karat magic? Like, is it one of those things where it had like there is like the emotional slow song that gets into that time capsule bag? Is it is? Or is this like setting the tone? And if it's the first one, I'm happy. Because if this is like the one or the bar for the low-key songs, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
If this is what the album's going to sound like, keep it. It's not because it's going to be bad music, but it's a waste. When you think about, if I think about what Anderson Paak has done with funk, and I think about what Bruno Mars has done with funk, is that for those two artists to be all about performance, all about energy, all about attitude, and come together to make a bunch of baby making music, I'm gonna be a little bit of it.
Well, let me
just a little bit. I'm gonna be upset.
Let me ask you a question. How did you feel about Childish Gambino's Redbone, Awaken My Love, that whole album?
I think that my expectation of Childish Gambino projects in general is that they're going to be different. It's going to be an execution of something that he wants to do, and that it might not be, automatically what you wanted or expected or like think of when you think of songs that you like, but like there's something there's something about it that's enjoyable. There's something that's like nice about it, and that's what I also felt about his last project. But did I go back to Awaken My Love a lot? No.
Okay. I think that because I personally know a lot of people who think that that's his best album. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's a toss-up between Because the Internet and Camp. But some people think that Awaken My Love is Childish Gambino's best album. I like when the nigga raps or makes Atlanta. I don't know what other shit he's doing. Like Lando Calrissian, he could keep that. Awaken My Love, he could keep that. Just rap and give me Atlanta. I want to hear more about Darius. I want to hear more of that. Wait. I don't.
Okay.
Not me.
Hey,
not me. Not I. Not I, said the Cap host. Not
Bruh,
I.
and I bet you the only song that they know is Redbone. What's the name? Another song besides Redbone?
I can't even name one to make the joke relevant and make the joke funny. I genuinely can't. I didn't. If Gambino ever gets back to a continuation of Because the Internet, which low-key might be one of the most underrated albums of the decade, I will be so happy.
He's never will. But
personally,
I wish that he produced more music for his other projects. You know, like I think about Tyler the Creator. Tyler the Creator is very, very multifaceted. He focuses on a lot of stuff. But he likes to produce, so he makes music for stuff, and so you still get the music artistry through the other mediums. And I mean, I think that Childish Gambino did that with Guava Island, and then that's it. A good movie. And he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it often.
Yeah.
And that's another example of like when he gets in his bag, it's lit. But you know, the consistency isn't there, and he's one of those guys that's so creative. Mm-hmm. That doing the same thing over again or you know, but Because the Internet 2 wouldn't happen again because he's closed that chapter. Like that's kind of how I look at it. But we'll see, you know, because I agree. I think that and his mixtape Stone Mountain, when he got into his like Atlanta rap bag, you probably haven't even heard that. No, I haven't. Stone Mountain, which is like the mixtape side of Kawhi that had Sober on it. Mm-hmm. It had him in his rap bag. It had him putting Atlanta niggas on. That project and his mixtape Royalty, where he's just
I've heard a little bit of Royalty. Yeah, I've heard a little bit of Royalty.
He had Nipsey Hussle and Schoolboy Q and Absol on Royalty and was keeping up. And that's when I kind of like realized that niggas don't even know like he can spit like that.
High key, when around the time period that like Because the Internet and all those other albums, like when he was actually rapping and he was actively rapping, I thought he had the potential to be top 5.
I think that he was top 5. I think that he was top 5 then because top 5 was hip hop was in a weird limbo state.
Yeah,
it was a bit, so I had him as top 5 because it was one of those times where like you said 2 or 3 names, you said 4 names, and then you were like Chance, like you're like I don't know, like I don't know, like it's 2015, like it's very like, early, like I don't know.
Just heard Coloring Book a little bit, like
you're
like okay,
maybe. Like I don't know, like it was J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake. Depending on who you were, Kanye was in there, and he gets the respect. Yeah. And then it was like I don't know, you know, some niggas be like, oh Meek, and niggas be like,
no, he had the potential. He had a little bit of the potential too.
Exactly. That's the thing is people. There was a bunch of people that had potential. Chance, Meek, Sean, that had potential to be around there.
Yeah.
That never put the project out that was gonna be like, all right, he's on that level.
You're probably gonna kill me for this, but I feel like right now, if we're just talking about like rapidy rap niggas, Big Sean is top 5.
Yeah, I think so. But I also think that he gets that because he was a commercial nigga that was like, all right, I'll just be woke instead. And that puts him in a different bag because he now, especially because he did come in at the end of the era where niggas liked rap, is that he has the ability to get in both bags now. So and with the whole 2088 shit, he can get into the R&B bag, you know, easily. Like if you have Janae Aiko on speed dial,
when he does that, it feels more natural compared to like when like niggas like Meek do it, like niggas like if Kendrick does it, he does it well, but it doesn't really feel as natural.
Yeah, because he can't sing, doing it. And he likes to get. And Kendrick, I know y'all niggas don't like to say this. When Kendrick gets on some sexual shit, he be getting weird sometimes. He be getting a little bit weird. He be like, oh.
Nah, he do. Man. I'm like, all right, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm like, oh, turn it down. That song is loud. Oh wow, that's loud. Turn that down. Man.
Low key, if anyone else made a song like These Walls, they would be looked at differently.
Yes.
But it was Kendrick, and he was going through his little funk phase too.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Like,
okay.
Yo, this kind of this is different.
Look at that. I feel like I'm in the 80s again.
Man. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that Big Sean is on that level.
Yeah.
I think that, but I also think that it's hard because I don't think that Big Sean has put out the album that puts him well enough on a Freddie Gibbs, Griselda type. He hasn't put himself in that group. He hasn't forced himself in that group. Are you
talking just strictly rap, or overall music? Because that's two different conversations.
Both.
No, if we're talking overall music, Big Sean is definitely there.
Because you got to think beat selection.
Big Sean had
beat selection.
Big Sean had a whole album produced by Hit Boy, and all the beats were knocking.
But that's what I mean. Is that like I would never, when I think about the rapidy rap niggas, and I put Big Sean, and if I were to put Big Sean into that grouping, is that I don't think that you or I would genuinely be like, oh yeah, I can see, I would see Big Sean and the Alchemist beat. I can see them putting out a project together. Because I personally don't. I could never see Big Sean linking up with an Alchemist for a full project.
But Alchemist doesn't have to be the only nigga producing beats though.
Like that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But you got to think about the Griselda bag, and then you got to think about the Freddie Gibbs bag.
Yes.
You got to think about.
I think what you're trying to get at.
Music.
I think what you're trying to get at is just like a simple like a boom bap rapidy rap, like a 1990s type style.
Like I just don't think that Big Sean is trying to make luxurious sound music in that, even if you, because I think that Rick Ross,
I think he could destroy
is a rapidy rap
beats.
nigga that doesn't get considered as a rapidy rap nigga for some really weird reason. Even though we all talk about his bars and we talk, he still somehow doesn't get put in that grouping. Is that Big Sean is not on that level where Rick Ross has time and time again gotten on a simple soul sample, low-key beat, I'm just going to spit bars at you, and then still give you the hit. Big Sean gives you the hit, or he doesn't, and then he gives you the low-key vibes. He gives you the low-key vibe, but he's not giving you, I'm going to give you 32 next level bar, because it's just not the same type of lyricism. He don't paint pictures, he flexes. You know what I mean? I think about Drake. Is that Drake
that's a
flexes.
Tough take.
They don't paint. There's a difference between you think about Benny the Butcher.
You taking that in between three defenders, bro.
Because Benny the Butcher.
That's a tough take.
Benny the Butcher gonna tell you the way that he cut a nigga, the knife, where he got the knife, which artery got punctured first, and how the way that the blood splattered on the floor, and Big Sean gonna give you the pun about how he stabbed a nigga and made him bleed like some other thing that bleeds, and you're like, oh, that's a bar. Hey, that other thing bleeds. Damn, that's a bar. But
oh shit, that bleeds too. That's cool.
It's not. He's not. He's naturally not meticulous because he's going for the punchline. He's a punchline rapper, and when you're a punchline lyrical rapper versus a master wordsmith where every word means something and every line means something, it's just a different version of lyricism. So
it is okay.
I don't look at it like that. I don't put him in the top 5 lyricists because I don't think of him as a lyricist like that. But I think that he's one of those guys that can get into both bags, where he can give you the commercial and I can give you the bars. I can give you the serious bars. Because if you think about like Lupe Fiasco, that's the Lupe Fiasco bag.
Yeah.
Like Lupe Fiasco is one of the first guys. Here's a radio hit that I have to give my label. Knowledge is the rest. Is that Big Sean just started getting in the knowledge bag, so I can't even give him that on that level. So I think that he's a good lyricist, but I wouldn't say top 5.
We'll see. I think that if he continues along this path, my case will grow stronger. But I'm just going based off of artists who can make a complete song. Like sometimes I feel like the Griselda niggas don't really give me a complete song because they are so focused on bars. I feel the same way about Freddie Gibbs, about not really giving me a complete song. And the only 3 niggas that I could really point to who are some of the best lyricists that we have, well, actually 4 that I could point to off the top of my head and say that they're some of the best lyricists that we have right now and can give me a full song, are Kendrick, Cole, Sean, and Lupe Fiasco. Meek might be in there if I need a top 5, but Meek kind of tries to get into some different bags that I don't really need him to be in. So I'll put him there as a 5th, but my top 4 would be of rappers who could do it just by themselves would be Kendrick, Cole, Lupe, and Big Sean, because they can give me different flows. They can still give me a little bit of knowledge because Big Sean is trending that way. So, but let's get back to Anderson Paak and Bruno Mars. Last question before we get out of here. When do you think this album will drop? Because we just went on that huge ass I don't even know how we fucking got there, but that was some good content. But when do you think the Silk Sonic album will drop?
When do I think it's gonna drop? I drop March. That March May pocket.
Really?
So this is not. It's not a summer project. It's not. I don't think that it's I think that it.
I feel like it's a summer.
Actually, going back to what I said originally, and my expectations for the album, is that I think that if it drops in March, it's not gonna be a summer album. But if it doesn't drop in March, I would be very surprised if we're hearing a lot of songs like the single. I'd be very surprised.
I think that it would be a good. Honestly, I think they should just be putting out singles, and I think they should hold it a little bit in hopes that they could perform it. Like I'll be fully fine with them just giving us, like, if this song's a fucking throwaway, this is probably gonna be one of the best albums of the decade. Just like all together, this is probably gonna be one of the best albums of the 2020s. If that song is a throwaway,
it could be. It could be. I mean, I really just hope that Anderson Paak didn't get into the studio with a guy like Bruno Mars and not even attempt to make a radio song. Like, I get it. You know, you're in the industry, you're just trying to make music, whatever. You got a guy like Bruno Mars in the room,
I think,
and you can get into it. You can pick a bag and you get into it.
You know what? I agree with you.
Gotta make it.
If this is the bar for the songs, like for the best songs, I'd be disappointed. You're right. I agree with you on that. Yeah.
So we'll see.
We will see.
We'll see.
Anyway, let's get out of here.
But I'm hyped. I'm still hyped for it. You know, great artist.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I don't really get excited like that. That's maybe that has to do with me, but I'm intrigued, definitely. Anyway, that's RJ Levy-Chin, all hoodied up over there. I'm Nate Sperlin. This has been The Cap, episode 201. Like and subscribe. You know, I don't know what that is. Like and subscribe. We'll be back next time. So catch you.
We'll see what happens next.